Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Julia Eisenberg, and I lead the team at Aspenfinn Strategy and Insight. I'm so delighted today to be joined by David Paull, founder and CEO of Lillian Labs. We are here today to discuss effective brand creation. This is something David and I have both been through recently, and it is fair to say we have a lot of opinions on the topic. Just a little bit about Aspenfinn. We are a strategy and insight brand, and we proudly launched earlier this year. Aspenfinn is a true evolution of our strategic insights practice. We are a company grounded in cognitive psychology. We feel very strongly that in order to know what people think, we must first understand how they think. And we use all sorts of research methods and ways to collect insight to figure that out for our clients.
Yeah, Lillian Labs is our brand, and Lillian Labs is a small boutique-style qualitative agency. We specialize in product concept and message testing, wrapping everything up in results and deliverables that are geared toward telling of stories in order to influence and persuade an audience. Our name derived from the woman that you see on the screen, Lillian Gilbreth, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her story later on.
So the process of creating a brand or cultivating a rebrand is very much a journey, rarely a straight line. Having a clear purpose, an experienced internal or external partner, as well as a healthy sense of resilience are all key factors to get you to a successful launch. I'll spend a couple of minutes in the slides that follow talking about what I feel were personally the critical milestones in our process for creating Aspenfinn. And I'm excited for you to hear David share some parts of his journey as well. From starting with the why to all the ups and downs and twists and turns along the way to get to an on-time launch. In truth, for us, it was probably more like 500 steps instead of 5, but I've been told we only have 20 minutes, so I will get right to it. The first really critical step in any brand journey is establishing your why. If you can't say clearly why you're doing this, please don't start. You're going to waste time, energy, and probably a lot of money. Don't start until you and your team are crystal clear about why you want to start this journey. I found that we really needed our why along the way, and I can guarantee that you will too. Because the path is not straight or easy, failing to lock in your why first is going to leave you really questioning everything if you get started without it. The truth is that starting here can really be difficult. These can be tough questions to ask and answer. They can feel a little bit trivial, maybe even obvious, and it can feel like sort of a bother to write them down if they're mostly set in your head. But please take my word for it. What is set in your head today is not going to be set in your head when you're halfway through the process and questioning everything. You really do need to write it down. Think of this as pouring the foundation of the brand you'll build. You want to make it strong and solid. When we made the decision to create what would become Aspenfinn, we really worked hard to be very clear on our whys. So for example, for why now, we really came to a place of understanding that we wanted to deliver different and clearer marketing than we were able to under our previous brand. It was holding us back in ways that we couldn't quite articulate, aside from we knew that it was holding us back. We wanted a distinct value proposition, and that really sort of was our very first why. For why change, I mean, we had a good thing going. It's not as if the brand were crumbling or faltering, but we came to understand through some sort of tough soul searching and truth telling that we were living in a very safe and gray middle area. We knew that our brand was strong, but that the way we were sort of trying to make it be all things to all people was not serving the growth we wanted to pursue for our strategy and insights practice. It was really keeping us from knowing and owning a differentiated value proposition. And for why try, this one was probably toughest of all. We were very proud of our work. We were very proud of our team. And we really wanted to protect this thing that we'd built, but had to move into a headspace and a business space where we really could say, we want this thing we've built to have a home that gives us the best chance possible of delivering an experience for our clients that is all the things we know and hope it can be. And as we sort of got down the path of establishing that for Aspenfinn, it really crystallized into this desire to deliver a bold, modern, fun, and smart experience for our clients. And that those really became sort of the cornerstones of how we built the brand. So once you have your why, it's important to pick a partner. Now, this can be an external partner, an agency who specializes in this type of work, or it can be a really strong internal team, a cross-functional team, a group of colleagues, even a group of outside advisors who you've sort of entrusted to keep you in check. The fact is, you're busy running the business and serving customers, so it's important to sort of get set with the reality that creating a brand or rebranding is almost another full-time job. And I could not have done it as quickly or as well without two key support systems. So first, my internal partner, sort of my right-hand go-to, was our VP of Marketing, Heather Paull. And she and I worked really closely and collaboratively together, involving the extended team when we needed to, but she and I really sort of took this as our mission to get done. And second, we did enlist an external agency, Keen as Mustard, to help us on this journey. So when we started to vet partners, we had our why in hand, and I can kind of tell you, vetting a partner is as much art as it is science. We had priorities in mind and really got clear on these as well. For us, those priorities were industry knowledge. We really wanted a partner who had existing industry of our space, so that we wouldn't have to spend a ton of time educating them. We wanted a partner with that informed perspective and a strong brand of their own. That to us was a really strong point of reference. Personality and cultural fit was important because it is a long relationship, and we wanted to get along with and enjoy working with these people we knew would be in it with us for the long haul. And considering the size of investment was important to us as well. Of course, there's the monetary piece, but there's the time piece as well. Balancing, your actual job and business needs with everything that a brand development takes was important. So we were sort of weighing the investment of money, the investment of time, effort, energy. All of those factors came into play. Lucy and Simon at Keen as Mustard really delivered on our priorities from the start. From the proposal they submitted to agreeing to partner, execution to launch, we really felt we had a true partner and confidence that they valued our priorities as much as we did along the way. So next, the next step on the journey is that you really must commit to showing up to do the work. Once you've sort of decided to do it, put your why together, created your support system, internally and through a partner, it's time to get to work. And yes, there's a lot of fun and creativity to creating a brand, but there's also a lot of tedium. Things like schedules, copy edits, more copy edits, wireframes, trademark work with lawyers. All of these things are realities and necessary realities of any type of brand creation. And it's important to have someone or a group of people with a complete list, and this is nowhere near a complete list, of all the steps you need to accomplish in an organized way to keep you on task. It's always fun to tell the story of how we chose the name Aspenfinn. People are curious about that. They ask, and I love to tell it. It was a really fun part of the process. We had a long list of names we considered, and Aspen kind of rose to the top early on. A lot of our team is based in Colorado, so it's a nice nod to our Colorado roots. I was actually away sort of staycationing in the mountains during the height of 2020 sort of lockdown and quarantining, surrounded by aspen trees, and it sort of felt like the universe was shouting at me like, this is a great name, pay attention to this one. And so there was that sort of symbolism that felt nice. And also, aspen trees are all connected at the roots. So they look like individual trees above ground, but underground, they're all connected and they speak to each other. So we really liked that symbolism. And then when we landed on Finn, we really dug into bird imagery. Like we had this idea of our brand being sort of, quick and smart and bright, and birds just sort of kept coming up, and we really went down a rabbit hole investigating types of birds. And a Finn's weaver is actually a type of bird that takes material from their environment, grass, cloth, little bits of paper and things, and they weave those things together to form their nest. And that was really nice symbolism for the way that we take feedback from respondents and people we speak to in our research and weave them into insights that really create a landing point, a home, a place for our clients to hang their hat and make important business decisions. Finn also has some kind of nice symbolism, like propelling you forward, and just a tiny touch of huckleberry fin, a little bit of adventure, a little bit of mischief, a lot of fun. So that's how our name came to be. And that was such a fun part of the process. It's a great story to tell. But you know what I have fewer fun stories about? The number of times we had to adjust copy on the website and the wireframes, because what I wrote and what it looked like when I saw it on the website were two different things. I had a really hard time visualizing how my words would look on the site pages and on our collateral. And I learned a lot about how very flawed I am. You will also learn a lot about what a flawed human you are as you go through a process like this. So the truth is, no one wants to hear about going back and forth with the trademark lawyer, debating the website menu types, and on and on. But committing to show up just as much for the fun stuff, like naming, as you do for the hard stuff, is extremely important, and really the only way to come out the other end with a fully formed brand. And so to follow that thread, I'm going to turn it over to David to talk a bit about some of the difficulties and issues you will surely encounter, how we ran into them and navigated them, and hopefully a couple of tips to help you avoid getting bogged down in them as you proceed.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. I've heard you tell your origin story a number of times now, and every time you tell it, I do love hearing it. And while the origin of the name that is the fun part, that's the part that we all enjoy hearing. As you said, it's all of the hard work then behind the scenes that really is what ends up pulling a brand together. So let's talk about some of those challenges. We're not going to sweep them under the rug, and let's just I want to help. Julie and I both want to help everybody be a little bit more prepared, for really what that whole journey looks like. So as you create a new brand, you're going to question and adjust more times than you can count. And it's important to spend time there, but it's also important to know when to move on and when to just trust yourself. Whether you have a strong outside partner, as Julia had in Keena's Mustard, or whether it was more like my story where we did it in-house with our in-house team, outsourcing graphic design and things like that, but the brand development we did in-house. It's very easy to get stuck in a cycle of revisions and tweaks and adjustments. We all want it to be perfect. This is our baby. And ultimately, of course, we know that it can't be perfect. So this is just a small sampling of things that I encountered when we built Lillian Labs. And I know Julia, endured similar challenges. What gets us through these issues is first and foremost anticipating them and knowing that they're going to be part of the process. And for those who haven't done it before and maybe you're thinking about it, hopefully this presentation does just that for you. You can grab a screenshot of this slide and know that these are the things that you're going to face, these and more, and just accept that that's part of the process. There's no shame in that, and you just have to be prepared to work through the time that's involved and all of the different opinions that are going to be involved, and trying to be unique without coming across as disingenuous or cliche. All of these things that you're going to work through. It's also key to have both a strong internal and external team. Julia mentioned that she had both, Keen as Mustard plus her internal group. We did a lot of our work internally, but we also had trusted advisors on the outside. We had clients that we bounced ideas off of. We had other consultants and advisors and longtime industry friends that we would bounce ideas off of just to kind of gut check things and keep us honest. And that's just a tremendous network of people to have. You also have to believe in your brand. It's easy to forget that you built this company and you've chartered the direction of your career on purpose. It's not by accident. What led you to your current brand is what's then going to lead you to your rebrand, and you have to have confidence in that, and know that you're doing this for the right reason. Essentially, once you've made the decision, um, put doubt aside and just be prepared to move on and just get on with it. So, it's true for Lillian Labs and Aspenfinn alike. That we did have to struggle through the tough spots and really clarify that our decisions were not only right for us and for the brand that we were building, but also that they were right for our clients in the market, and ultimately that it's really the only option. We made the decision to move forward, and then we were able to boil it down to what we believed was really the only option for us going forward. Julia shared how she would practice answering the phone as Aspenfinn, and the other top 3 names on her list, just to kind of try it on and see how comfortable she was with it. And for me, we did similar things. I knew in an instant that I loved the name Lillian Labs. I loved the alliteration of it. Um, we debated whether or not to even put labs in the name. There was a stretch where it became a little cliche to call yourself labs. We decided that, in our opinion, the industry was a little bit past that period, and it really felt true to the way this team, internally here really does roll up our sleeves. Um, and get to work. But it did have to come across as genuine and not trying to be too cute or too clever. So the way we came up with the name Lillian is we wanted to honor someone in history who charted a path that we were now benefiting from. And so we started looking through names of pioneers in research and in engineering and in invention, innovation. And in looking through tons and tons of people, this woman, Lillian Gilbreth, from the early to mid 1900s, really jumped out. She was a pioneer during her life, and she invented things from the L-shaped kitchen to the foot pedal trash can. And ultimately, she also invented putting shelving in refrigerator doors. And so that's why the refrigerator is kind of the key anchor to our brand, going with that retro refrigerator in honor of one of her key innovations. So we did our research and we dug, and we really found that Lily embodied everything that we held dear. And it felt like it was an honor to us to be able to honor someone like her and stand on her shoulders. So trying the brand on and living with it for a while and sharing it with others is really a key to feeling sharp and committed to the direction. It's where you start to believe in it and own it, and then sell it to your internal teams and outsiders and ultimately to your clients. So the process of creating a brand or rebrand is far from simple. We could spend all week expanding on parts of the process that we've already shared today. But in the end, it is absolutely possible. And when you feel the time is right, it's worthwhile to do. It's an incredible feeling to build and launch something new that you love and believe in, and then ultimately see the way the rest of the world reacts to it. So Julia and I are really just 2 examples of that. The work that Keen as Mustard has done over the years is incredible to look through. And really, for inspiration, I would recommend that you just look at other brands that you admire and you read their stories and you look at their journeys and you try to figure out where can you pull inspiration from that takes the best of what's out there that the world has to offer, but also what's most true to you and feels right to you. So with that, we hope that we've been able to set you up with a strong place to start. And if you'd like to discuss this further with either of us, please feel free to reach out, to chat about it more. And with that, we wish you all the luck in the world on your journey, and we'd love to turn it over and answer some questions.